It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
We have to up our physicality, we have to up our intensity, and we have to up our anticipation on the weak side. As much as I would like to believe in my teammate guarding the ball, I have to anticipate what has to happen if they get beat. And I just felt like we were late on all those aspects tonight. You know, offensively, it wasn't our best night, and you still turn in 117 points. You know, our team is top half of the league offensively, and we're last defensively.
Last defensively, again, the Jazz blown out by the Blazers and blown out early. PK, I'm figuring you had time to get to bed early.
Oh, I did.
That thing was over. It started getting away late first quarter. It was over before halftime.
I had a sense of embarrassment watching that game.
That a team could be that horrific against a team as mediocre or below mediocre in Portland.
It felt like I was watching the Globetrotters and the Generals, and it was staged. Zero resistance defensively.
Yeah.
Just lob dunks constantly. I wanted to have a few laughs. I was waiting for somebody off the bench to take a bucket and pretend there was water in it. I mean,
that's old Globetrotter shtick right there.
I felt like I was watching the Generals.
Yeah.
And my wife is a former Washington General.
Washington High is nicknamed the Generals?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
In South Central L.A.?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know they're not built to win, and I know Kessler's not there. But
nonetheless, I know.
I mean, it was just zero resistance. I'm surprised Hardy was that calm. I think that he got caught on that thing a few weeks ago, which nobody has a problem with, and now he's trying to play nice guy in his post games.
Try not to blow up too often.
Yeah.
All right, that was terrible. I got to take several deep breaths before I go out there. The thing is, it just happens so often. I mean, I'd have to go back and count it up, but I want to say they're at about a dozen games where they've given up 130 points. And there's no reason for that. I mean, you just can't be that bad. And there have been plenty of 135s and 140s, and this could have been a 140, but it was over.
Well,
and
they backed off in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're way down the bench.
Not that I have any idea, because I was sleeping.
They did back off in the fourth quarter, though.
I mean, I went to bed.
It was 111. I remember looking at it thinking, 111. 11-1. What a great number to end the quarter on. And they gave up another 3, and they ended it on 114. So that means it was only a 23-point fourth quarter.
I'm just wondering if he's taking it easy because these guys just aren't good enough, and you can't expect somebody to do something who that person can't do it. I'm not going to shoot a 65 in golf. It's just not going to happen.
So there's no point in getting mad at you.
So don't beat myself up over it because I'm not going to do it. I'm not good enough. I wonder if there's something there.
There are nights you think the rebuild is going pretty well, and the nights you're thinking this rebuild's never going to end. I mean, they did just a couple weeks ago. These guys beat the Spurs. They beat the Pistons right in a row.
Right, I was thinking, oh my gosh, if they would have had Kessler all season, this could be a team that could at least compete probably very well for the play-in game. Now I'm thinking, this team sucks.
Yeah, no. I was watching that thing, and I mean, Kessler's making better, but he can't fix this. There's just wide open guys all over the court.
I know.
Jazz are off today. They play in Oklahoma City tomorrow. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Kevin Durant savoring a win over the Phoenix Suns, saying he was happy to have some payback. Felt he was jettisoned, scapegoated in Phoenix. Bad feelings, bad vibes. And Houston beats Phoenix 197.
Yeah, I like these guys who do the play the victim and I'm this, I'm that. I mean, they got rid of multiple guys, and Phoenix has just played the night before.
Yep.
But if that's what it takes in another who gives a crap game in early January, great.
At no point did I expect the Phoenix Suns to beat the Thunder and Rockets on back-to-back nights, and they had just won on the late shot by Booker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Came pretty close to winning again, but sunk by a 19-point
The Suns are
fourth quarter.
still without their starting. They haven't had their starting lineup. Literally only one game. This Green that they got in the trade for Durant played and got hurt immediately. The Suns have been a decent story so far this year.
Always look for the worst teams in the league and see what they're doing, see how it impacts the Jazz potential lottery odds. Not that it necessarily will impact draft position. We have no idea. We'll get to that point. But the Charlotte Hornets win again. They blow out the Thunder 124-97. The Thunder just turned into a 500 team here after a brilliant start. See how long this continues. I expect they'll get on another roll, but not yet. And
The Thunder.
Charlotte blew them out in the second quarter and hammered them again in the third.
Well, if the Thunder, not the Thunder, if Charlotte ever had their guys, they have a chance to be at least mediocrely decent. And Knippel's been a very nice pickup.
He has. He has shot the ball really well. Man, that was win number 13 for them, so they've now passed the Jazz. The Jazz are on 12 wins.
If I look at their roster and I look at the Jazz roster, I think their roster's better.
They've been drafting so high for so long, it ought to be better.
Yeah.
Win number 13 for the Clippers also. They beat the Warriors 103-102. Kerr gets kicked out in the fourth quarter. They hit the free throw. And they end up winning the game by 1 point. 103-102.
What's his face? What's that guy's name? The sharpshooter dude? He fouled out.
What's his face? Steph Curry did foul out.
That's his name.
Yeah, that's his name. Couldn't remember his name. Kawhi Leonard was 0 for 8 from 3, but they won anyway. The two guys who carried him through the fourth quarter, John Collins and Chris Dunn, two former Jazz men, combining for 17 of their 27 points in the fourth and the last 9 in the game. Go figure.
What's funny, Kerr and Curry, just add the Y, and you got Kerr and Curry. And they were complaining about the refereeing and all. They shot 27 free throws, and the Clippers
shot 21.
And you're the visiting team? I would take that.
Yeah.
Zubac returned. He'd been out for a bit.
Good to have him back.
Yeah, he's a decent player.
So win number 13 for the Clippers, win number 13 for the Charlotte Hornets. The Jazz on 12. So the Jazz now, when it comes to the worst record in the league, there's 2 teams in the West worse than them, Sacramento and New Orleans, and 3 teams in the East, Pacers, Wizards, and Nets. So 6th worst record in the NBA as we sit here this morning.
6th worst record on Wedgwood Road?
6th worst record on Wedgwood Road. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
The back in the day stories. Utah State and Colorado Springs to take on Air Force. I know you have memories, PK. Scotty G's got memories. He's been going there for about a decade now, calling games. And with the switch in leagues next year, Air Force will stay in the Mountain West, and Utah State will go to the newly reconstituted Pac-12, and Scotty's in Colorado Springs for the last time. So you guys will be able to do Remember When stories.
Yeah, and the good thing for him is he knows it. I did not know it, although I had a good idea. When I actually quit the Watchdog, I had a good idea it was coming.
Yeah.
The Air Force Academy, they play in a building that same roof houses the hockey team, which is about 1 trillion times more important than basketball over there. They just have obvious limitation. And Joe Scott is still coaching, although he came back. He was there when I was there. And that they had basically a high school locker room, and that's where I had the opportunity. I was interviewing Jeff Johnson after a game once, and the showers were like, communal showers, and everybody gets the towel, wraps it around their waist. Not Majerus.
Over the shoulder. I've heard that story, and others like it. I'm fortunate. I have Majerus stories of my own, but I don't have anything along those lines.
You've never seen him completely nude?
Nope. And I have multiple players have told me about it. A guy who worked for ESPN, who also worked here locally, I think you know Todd. Todd told me he's got a story from the hotel, going to interview him in the hotel. Nope. Yeah, the big man always was clothed around me. Lucky me.
During COVID,
Bill Marcroft told me stories. Woody told me stories. Yeah, there were stories.
I was in Vegas in COVID, and when you're driving in from Salt Lake, on the left is an adult gentleman's club, I think it's called Little Darlings, and everything was closed in Nevada. And on the marquee right there, now I've never been in the place, but on the marquee it said, "Sorry, we're fully clothed."
Yeah, there it is.
Got a chuckle.
Sorry. somebody had fun with the sign. Well, the Aggies are off to a 3-0 start in conference. However, they've beaten the 0-3 Bulldogs, they've beaten the 0-3 Spartans, and they're about to play the 0-3 Falcons. So might temper your enthusiasm. They did beat Colorado State, and CSU's 1-2. So they're starting off with the bottom of the league here. But you got to take care of business.
I've seen it. Calhoun's name already being tossed around.
Again.
Yeah.
It was tossed around a year ago.
I would think Bob Hurley is a dead man walking in Tempe. They'll go to 0-2 tomorrow night here in Provo, and he just isn't getting it done. I don't think he's very good. So they probably are going to be looking for a replacement.
Now, would a good coach want to go there? Do they have the money to succeed in this era? That would seem to be the first question everybody asks, and all the coaches know. So-and-so's got NIL money. So-and-so has a little. So-and-so has a lot. So-and-so has none at all.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume no. But.
Right, because they're trying to get it all to football, and the push is on there.
Yeah. Which is fine with me.
But he's winning, and if it's not one school, it's another. Somebody. I mean, they're going to come calling and knocking. He's doing too good a job. He's winning too much.
Yeah.
All eyes are going to turn towards him.
Right.
But that's been interesting. With Scotty had that take with the Utes and the Cougars as it became Kyle was hiring coaches. He's just like, relax. There's more good coaches out there, and he listed all the coaches. The number. I mean, it's like. I think it's 9 coaches in 10 years or something in football and basketball combined.
Yeah, but you never know.
Yeah. No, and he's sitting there with a lot of confidence because they keep hitting.
Well,
especially in basketball.
Right now,
yeah,
we'll see.
But you can miss.
This will be a bigger test in the Pac-12. They won't have some of these completely, totally gimmies all the time.
BYU, that game is on the Sports Zone tonight, 6:30. Scotty on the call for the pregame at 6:30. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. The Aggies are 12-1 and 3-0 in league, and we're expecting 13-1 and 4-0 in league. BYU's 12-1, 1-0 in the Big 12. They moved up a spot. They are now number 9 after beating K-State. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
3 more openings. The Raiders let Pete Carroll go. The Cardinals let Jonathan Gannon go after 3 years. And Kevin Stefanski is out in Cleveland after 4 years. He was in the playoffs a couple times, and they gave him multiple bad quarterback situations. That, and honestly, I mean, with Carroll, you could say with his age, maybe he lost his fastball and all that, but the Raiders are a mess. You can go in there and fix that in 1 year?
Well, I don't know you can fix it in 1 year, but I mean,
that
really
was terrible.
Bombed.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between fixing it in 1 year. But that's basically what you sign up for. Stefanski was there for 6 years, not 4, but and it seems silly, but what do I know?
It does seem silly. Some of these moves. It's Pete Carroll had a couple of head coaching jobs where he lasted 1 year, and he had other jobs where he's lasting 14 years, 9 years, even 3 years. Yeah, and the 1 year jobs were with the Jets and the Raiders, perpetually tormented organizations.
It's just that, I mean, in the last 2 years, if you want to look at it, he is 8-26.
Yep. And maybe is losing his fastball in his 70s.
Not Carroll, Stefanski.
Yeah.
I don't know, in his 70s. It's age discrimination by you.
Well, no. I think he got fired because he went to a lousy organization.
Right, but you've mentioned it twice in his 70s.
I know.
So
and
he was in his
50s. Because that is the predominant thing everyone's saying about it.
Age discrimination.
I get it.
And I will not have it.
Stefanski gets another job right away because the whole league looks at him like, man, they gave him the Watson nightmare, and then they gave him 4 quarterbacks and 2 rookies. So he played the veterans because they were the best, and then they traded the veterans out from under him, and he had to play rookies who hadn't even been practicing.
Man, you said that all in one breath. That was impressive.
I think that the front office absolutely gave him an unplayable hand.
Well, how about the back office? Maybe they should move up to and switch spots then.
And that might be where the real problem is. And the side office might be clueless as well. Detroit Lions coach Matt Campbell, when asked, rated his coaching job as a freaking F after the team struggled amidst a 9-8 campaign, missing out on the NFL playoffs for the first time since 2022.
What? Say that again.
He gave him a freaking F.
That seems harsh, no?
It does. And I think actually watching the Lions struggle this year is part of the reason. I think in a crowded field where there have been a lot of turnaround stories, so the Coach of the Year award could go to Jacksonville, it could go to Denver, it could go to New England for sure. Vrabel in New England would be a decent winner. It could go to Seattle. But what about Chicago? Ben Johnson, he leaves Detroit, and they're like 6 games worse, and he goes to Chicago, and what are they? Like 6 games better. I have to go look at their record last year, but about 6 games better. I mean, he leaves one place. Ben Johnson might know his stuff.
And because I have to keep the honor of Walter Cronkite, it's Dan Campbell, not Matt Campbell.
Thank you.
Matt Campbell is the new Penn State coach.
Yes.
And Rocco Beck is the new Penn State quarterback. And 2/3 of Iowa State team is the new Penn State team.
Everybody's moving.
Which will lead right into what we got next.
All right, let's do it, Yuck.
Hashtag college football.
PK, would you like to talk about transfers in college football?
Yes, but
It's on the
first I
tip
want
of
to
your
talk
tongue.
about the FBS final.
With Montana State, it's the championship subdivision. FBS is the bowl subdivision.
Yeah, I never get that. I always say one double.
It should have been 1AA. They should go back to that. It was much clearer. I know.
That game last night was as good a game as you're going to see.
Did you feel like that made the Steelers-Ravens game look like a calm little affair?
No, that was good too. But this had, no one was crying. The quarterback for Illinois State was literally sobbing out on the field when it looked like they had it.
Yep.
And then they get the kick blocked and they missed the PAT and OT.
Yep.
That game.
They were down 28-14, 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. They had the field goal attempt to take the lead in regulation, and they had the PAT in overtime. And
Not that that's totally pure, but we know these guys aren't getting $5 million. And there's something.
Not yet, anyway.
I would be shocked if that ever happened.
No, because if you're underclassmen, you could transfer and get paid somewhere.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't think they'd get the $5 million. Yeah.
And to see these guys just lay it out like that in an era in which we've got guys literally leaving all over. It's musical chairs. I mean, basically these quarterbacks in college now, they're swingers. I'm going to be with you today, and then I'm going to be with somebody else tomorrow. And then somebody. These guys have transferred. Sorsby, Levitt.
3 schools is no longer surprising. We used to giggle about 3 schools. He went to 3 schools.
That was usually a kid who had hype and didn't live up to it and was trying to salvage something, and usually it ends up being nothing. And now it's just commonplace. And then we had a kid from, what was it, committed to Nebraska, but now he's going to go to Kentucky.
Kenny Mitchell,
so 2
yes.
days ago he was committed to Kentucky or Nebraska. Now he's committed to Kentucky, and he went to Notre Dame. It's like, oh my goodness, this is so screwed up.
Bryce Underwood expected to stay at Michigan as the starting quarterback for Kyle Whittingham. So
I think that's excellent news for the Utes.
seems less likely that a quarterback would be willing to transfer to Michigan, right?
I wouldn't see why they would.
No playing time there. Underwood will be the guy.
Probably this year and next year because he's got to wait 3 years.
Same class as Bert Ficklin.
And he's just finished his regular first year freshman.
Yep.
It's not a redshirt freshman. So you never know what's going to happen. But I think that's good news for Whittingham, for what he's trying to establish, and good news for the Utes. But when it comes to Michigan, and I'm showing my true loyalties to the state of Michigan today.
Wearing Michigan State gear after wearing Michigan gear yesterday.
I hate Michigan.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You're all about the green?
I'm a Michigan State guy. I always have been. It goes back to my relationship with Buck.
Buck?
Urban Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson. DJ PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Schmaltz, pass across. Dursey trying to pass it back. It comes to Kraus. Kraus, Schmaltz, back door, and they score! Sean Dursey wins it in overtime here at Madison Square Garden. 3-2 the final score, and Dursey taps it in after the setup from Kraus and Schmaltz.
Utah Mammoth. 4 points in 3 games in New York and New Jersey. They get out of the Big Apple. That's a pretty good trip right there. Dylan Gunther scores his 21st goal of the year to tie it up 1-1 in the second, but they are trailing. Gave up a couple of power plays. They were trailing 2-1 going to the third. Michael Carcone got the goal to tie it at 2, and then you hear Sean Dursey with the game winner in overtime, and they get out of there with another W. Nice. Good trip. 4 points in 3 road games. You'll take it. That's a pace that'll get you to the postseason right there.
Yeah, but I mean,
long way to go, tight race, but a good trip.
We're waiting.
Yep.
We're all a bunch of Morgan Scallies. We're waiting.
Yeah, right. They are tied for 9th in the West right now. They announced after the game they've traded Valimaki, defenseman who had been injured and was in the AHL. He was up last year for a little while, though. But he's been traded to Carolina for future considerations. They had injuries, needed defensemen, and they've got a lot of defensemen. We'll talk with Mike Folta about that.
Better than past considerations.
Past considerations. All right, DJ PK, that is what is trending. Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Mike Folta, Utah Mammoth radio voice, joins us next. Austin Meek, Michigan writer for The Athletic at 9 o'clock. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. We'll give away tickets at 8:30 and 9:30 right here on The Zone.
Whirls around and down. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, and we are joined by Mike Folta, the radio voice of the Utah Mammoth. Mike, where in the world are you? You still in New York, lounging about after 3 games in 5 days?
We're somewhere in Manhattan as I check out my hotel window, and thankfully not for much longer because we're about to get on a jetliner and head back to the Wasatch Front, which we've been in New York for long enough, I would say. Great city to come visit, but visit, the key word. At some point, you got to go back home. And the Mammoth picked up 2 out of 3 wins on this trip. They whomped the New York Islanders 7-2. Then they lost to New Jersey 4-1. Then last night, a thrilling overtime winner from Sean Dursey led to a 3-2 victory at Madison Square Garden. Utah won in overtime at the Garden last year. It was Clayton Keller who was the hero in that game. This year, the defenseman Sean Dursey gets the OT winner. It seems like the Utah Mammoths save a lot of dramatics for MSG and for the world's most famous arena, as they call it. But it was one heck of a game last night, and it was a big swing game for this team as well to pick up 2 points. You win 2 out of 3 on the road trip, and now it's a happy plane ride back for 7 straight home games coming up at the Delta Center.
I don't want to go nuts here, but does the phrase make or break have any application to the 7-game homestand?
I don't think you're going nuts at all. I think this is a huge stretch. And last year, the Mammoth had a similar 7-game homestand in the middle of January, basically the same exact time. Entering that 7-game homestand, Utah was 5 points out of a playoff spot, and they had a losing record on that homestand. They missed some opportunities, and they finished 6 points out of a playoff spot. And so they lost a little bit of ground, but more than that, they lost time. And when you're playing at home, the expectation is in the NHL that you're winning around 2 out of 3. That seems to be kind of the mark that most playoffs teams are able to hit. You win 2 out of 3 at home. You're around 500 on the road. That should put you in a good spot. I think the Mammoth might need to win 5 out of 7 or even better to keep pace in this really busy Western Conference. Now, you do have Logan Cooley coming back after the Olympic break in February, so that's going to be a huge boost. But I don't think you can afford to wait for Cooley to come back so that you can make your move in the standings. The Mammoth have had a really road-heavy schedule in the first half of the year. We've been saying that over and over again. We've been saying, just wait. The home games are going to come. The schedule is going to turn in Utah's favor. Well, now it is, and the other side of that is you have to make good on these home games coming up, and it starts tomorrow against the Ottawa Senators, a team that Utah has never beat, strangely enough. So a good opportunity with 7 straight games at home. Mammoth have been a pretty good home team this year, better than they were last year, and if they can maximize their opportunities on this homestand, they should be – I would think they would be above that cut line once the dust settles on these 7 home games.
Dylan Guenther with goal number 21. Is it safe to assume midway through the season, and assuming he stays healthy, this will be 4 years in the league, and his goal totals are going to grow every year? The point totals, he keeps topping it, and we're still not sure where the ceiling is for him, right?
We're not. He's on pace for 40 goals right now, and if he gets to that number, that puts him in the elite of the NHL goal scorers. And it's not just the number of goals he's scoring, it's when they're coming as well. Yeah. He's got 5 game-winning goals this year. That's up near the tops in the league. Not quite the most, but I think it's second or third right now. He's got 3 overtime winners this year. That's tied for the most in the NHL. So not only does he score a lot of goals, but he scores big goals for the Mammoth. And he's been even better. We were talking about this, DJ and PK, last week, how Guenther has been one of the guys to elevate his play in the absence of one of Utah's other young stars in Logan Cooley. And I think it's 14 games now without Cooley, and Guenther has 11 goals, I want to say. There's only a few guys that have more goals in the NHL since the start of December than Dylan Guenther, and they're names that even casual fans would recognize. Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Steven Stamkos. Those are the 3 guys, at least as of Sunday, who were the only ones to have more goals in the NHL since the start of December, more goals than Dylan Guenther. So he's in good company, and he's been turning on the Jets recently. And he's really become more than just a goal scorer, too, guys, like more than just a shooter. That's what we know him for, his shooting ability. But you look at his goals, and he's using his speed to create chances. He's being strong in front of the net and kind of out-positioning guys, out-muscling guys. And so he's developed into more than just a sniper this year. He's not just on Overwatch. He's full, like, Navy SEAL commando. He can do it all.
Nice. Yeah, that first goal was a classic example of being like a shot out of a cannon, boom, right on top of the net there. Last year, we talked about Durzee's absence. It seemed like we talked about it all season. And now, as we got our initial exposure to following the team on a game-by-game basis, this year we can see why, because for a defenseman, man, he's on a little bit of a run himself here in the last, 10, 12 games.
Yeah, I believe it's points in 9 of his last 10. It's a great point, PK, because he plays a bit of a high-risk, high-reward game where he's going to push the issue up the ice. And when him and Sergachev on that top pair, when they're at their best, they're really fun to watch because they can move the puck so well. They can contribute offensively, but they can also handle their own business in the defensive zone. And we heard from Durze after the game last night in New York, and he scored the overtime winner for the Mammoth. And hearing from him after, I didn't realize this, but his grandfather had actually passed away a couple weeks ago. And he told us that he took a penalty late in that third period. He was furious, guys. Like, he could not believe it. He was maybe lucky he didn't get another penalty for the way that he was going after the officials. But he slams the penalty box door shut, and apparently, according to him, he said a little prayer, maybe talking to his grandpa, and he came out of that penalty box late in the third like a bat out of hell. I mean, I thought he was going to score right there because he comes out of the penalty box, joins the attack, and very nearly willed Utah to a lead in regulation. He had a great scoring chance late in the third, didn't score there, but he was the one to tap it in off a great play from Nick Schmaltz in overtime. So only fitting that Jersey gets that game-winning goal. He is such an emotional piece for this Utah group, and you saw a lot of emotion when he scored too. He's fun to watch, and he can do a lot for this team. And when he's going, well, I'll say this: Utah's going to need him to continue to play like this if the Mammoth are going to reach the postseason.
They traded Valimaki away for future considerations. And a year ago, as PK points out, defensemen were at a premium. It seems like now that move suggests that they not only like the guys they have, they like the depth behind them, and they probably like a couple young prospects in the AHL. Yep. So now just get him somewhere he can play, and the defenseman situation is just turned around completely in 12 months, I guess.
Yeah, totally flipped, DJ. And yeah, future consideration. It's a new guy out of Quebec, part of the French-speaking Canada. So we'll get to see him play here shortly. That's a joke for anybody wondering. Future considerations doesn't mean anything. But it's honestly the organization doing right by Juuso Valimaki as well, because this guy was in the minor leagues in Tucson, and now he gets a chance to compete for a spot in Carolina. He was making around $2 million, so that was probably a little bit expensive of a price tag to kind of get anything back. And so you clear his $2 million from the books, and you give him a chance to play, in a different spot as well, a bit of a fresh start. And yeah, he had been injured last year, and aside from that, the Mammoth have just had other guys elevate their game. And head coach Andre Tourigny mentioned this when he was asked about Olli Maatta the other day here in New York, because Maatta is a guy who's been out of the lineup, even though he's going to go represent Team Finland at the Olympics. Really good player, good veteran, guy who's won a couple cups. He was acquired last year to fill the holes last year that you were talking about, DJ. But now he can't find himself in the lineup because guys like Nick DeSimone have stepped up and have made it impossible to take them out of the lineup. And you're healthier on the back end than you were last year. Last year, the Mammoth at this time were still without John Marino and Sean Dursey, two huge pieces of their top two defense pairs. Well, now you have those guys in the lineup, and Nick DeSimone has fought his way into the lineup. And so there's going to be a couple guys on the outside looking in. Valimaki had been one of those, pushed down the depth chart. Olli Maatta is the 7th D right now. And also Dmitry Simashev, a young rookie who we saw earlier in the year. He's down in the AHL ripening as we speak. And there's just not a spot for him up with the big club right now. It's not because he played terribly that he's in the AHL. He just needs a little more time to develop and become the star defenseman that we believe that he can be.
Well, when you said future, I thought it was the rapper. I was thinking, sweet, man. The rapper's coming to town.
No rapper, no French-Canadian hockey player. Future considerations could be anything. It could be nothing. It could be a bottle of wine. We were talking with Larry Plow, who's in our front office, and as a front office member, he got traded one time. I believe it was from New York to St. Louis, where he got traded as a front office member as a part of like an actual deal like that involved active players. And I think he got shipped off to St. Louis as like an assistant general manager or something like that. But it was future considerations, technically part of that swap as well. And maybe a couple cases of wine too.
Or a 6 or a Coors Light. You never know.
Well, that's what we would trade you for, PK. But
I think it would just be a pint. It wouldn't be a 6-pack.
Yeah, that's right. Right. I'd go for maybe some discounted PBRs, something like that.
Mine would be near beer.
Okay.
What does it mean perception-wise for his standing in the league, in the game of hockey, to have Keller make the Olympic team?
It's huge. It's huge, especially this year with NHL players returning to the Olympics for the first time since 2014. All eyes are going to be on Milan, and I think this event has only been heightened by what we saw last year at the Four Nations, where Keller was left off that roster. I mean, the Four Nations tournament captured not just the hockey world, but the sporting world last February. And now there's so much anticipation for what we're going to see coming up in the Olympics, that to be a part of Team USA is to be in the sporting spotlight, not just hockey, but the sporting spotlight coming up here in mid-February. And Keller was with Team USA at World Championships in the summer. Now, for those who don't know, World Championships, it's not really comparable to the Olympics, because for some strange reason, they play the World Championships while the NHL is in the playoffs. So you're missing a lot of the best players who are playing in the NHL playoffs. So it's not really a best on best tournament, but nonetheless, Keller represented the Americans at that tournament and won gold for Team USA. It was the first time they had won gold at World Championships in over 90 years. And Keller was the captain of that group, played really well, and he's coming off a career year last year. But I mean, you think of what Clayton Keller has been through this season, losing his father around Thanksgiving and now being named to the Olympic team, something that he was really mad about, something he was mad about not making the Four Nations team last year. And now he kind of flips that script this year. It's a huge deal, and it vaults him into another level of stardom within the NHL.
We could talk to you for a while longer, and I know you got like 10 more jokes that need a rim shot, but you also have to catch a bus because you said it's a great city to visit, but you don't actually live there. So we'll let you go, Mike, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, guys. And as you know, the bus waits for no
one.
Radio people,
yeah.
Especially radio people.
So you're leaving New York today? Is that it?
Yeah, we're flying out. We'll get back.
Start
to Utah
spreading the news. Folta's leaving today.
We took a big bite out of the Big Apple, fellas. We'll see you.
All right, 4 points in 3 games. Thanks, Mike. There's Mike Folta. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, did you know I brought up Future, the rapper? Which I know you know his stuff.
Absolutely not.
Now, I called up his Wikipedia page. He's the unmarried father of 7 children by his account, each with different women, although another child's paternity has been litigated. And then you go down the next paragraph. Future is a Christian and has publicly acknowledged his faith on multiple accounts.
All right. That seems like a segment all to itself right there.
Now, you guys are the Bible scholars here. We see any...
It's not ideal.
Like conflict here or any dichotomy, maybe?
You see where possibly,
but
thing or two.
Love is love. You love who you love.
There it is. DJ and PK coming up. Austin Meek, Michigan writer for The Athletic, is here at 9 o'clock. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. We're giving those tickets away at 8:30 and 9:30. The question of the day, football fans, is coming up. Stay with us.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G.
Don't touch that button.
Check this out. Eric Weddle, kind enough to join us.
We need to get back to players that want to be part of our university, that will appreciate what the university can give them. The culture, the buy-in, what Coach Morgan and those guys are going to be emphasizing day in and day out of being great men on and off the field, right? Future leaders, future husbands and fathers, like those programs are what I want my son to be a part of. It's not the guys that are money hungry. We're not going to beg people to stay at our university. We're not going to overpay guys because they got other universities that are offering more money. Then if that's the case and you don't appreciate what this school can give you, then good luck, because we're going to be fine. The University of Utah is an amazing school with amazing support, and those who want to be a part of it, let's ride.
It's Hans and Scotty, weekdays from noon to 3, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Got a question up on our page here. Utah will officially introduce Morgan Scalley at a press conference on Tuesday. How tough of a job will it be?
A firestorm.
A firestorm?
Yeah.
How is it a firestorm? A firestorm of a job. I don't usually
because there's a lot of stuff swirling around the program right now.
I think the last I don't know, week and a half has been a firestorm.
Right.
But I think that
this
settles
is what
down.
he's stepping into right now.
But it settles down. I feel like it's settling down right now.
With the portal, I don't know.
Okay.
I hope so. I hope you're right. And I can't say that completely because you're hiring a brand new offensive staff. And, at least with Kyle taking his guys, they've all been together.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking a bunch of guys. Whoosh, here you go, guys.
Yep.
Away you go. And think about this. This program for 2 decades has defined in a crazy world that is college football stability. And we do the same thing every day at this time, every October 21st. Every year, October 21st at 2 o'clock for 2 decades, they did the same thing. And so now it's a little, firestorms. I'm just making a point. But it's unsettling right now because there's a lot of, we don't know. And there's always a form of we don't know, more so now than ever with the portal because you're bringing in so many new dudes every single year. Virtually every team is doing this. So it sort of washes out a little bit that you're competing against a bunch of guys that are brand new over there, too. And so there's a lot of unknown, but there's more unknown now than we've had in 20 years.
But it is part of the gig. To me, he's got to make one hire on the defensive side of the ball. It's the offensive side of the ball where, if you want to use the word firestorm, even if that's hype, I think everyone gets your point. But even a year ago, with Kyle being the picture of stability, it was new OC, new running back coach, new wide receiver coach.
Sure. The wide receiver coach brought his best receiver with him, and that kid was the best receiver. The running back coach brought his running back with him, and he was the best running back. And the OC brought the quarterback, and he was the best quarterback. Now you got none of that. So those guys are still here, but they're brand new coaches. Devin Dampier has never run a play for anybody but Jason Beck. So even though it was new to Utah, those guys weren't new to each other.
And all of that still rests on the offensive line, which had to be rebuilt no matter what.
That's absolutely true also. So you combine all this with a rookie head coach. He's still a rookie head coach. At the end of the day.
Nice. To mix and match.
So there's a certain unknown that goes into that. And
there's definitely some unknowns. To your point, the number of unknowns in college football is climbing everywhere. Even for the coaches
there's a little sense of a wash, although a lot of these guys go and bring a player. The Oklahoma coordinator comes from Washington State, and he brings Mateer, the quarterback, a la New Mexico, to here. These guys aren't bringing anybody with them. As far maybe they will.
We don't know that yet.
Right.
I mean, they might be bringing there's a good wide receiver at Utah State in the portal. So
I understand that.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But we have to let guys land, and all that's got to work out. To me, that's the bigger question. How tough of a job it'll be? Tell me how much money he has in relation to everyone else. You can sit here and try to figure out today, but everything's escalating so quickly.
Okay,
$5 million quarterbacks didn't used to be a thing.
But
they are now.
1 cent quarterbacks didn't used to be a thing.
That's true.
Did they have any less money than what they had? Probably not. And with that same amount of money, they just went 11-2.
But in relation to everybody else, as everyone else accelerates,
so Utah
can they accelerate
is falling down?
I don't know, and I don't know where they'll be in the future.
Leave the rapper alone?
I'm not the one who went into the Wikipedia page and read about all his heirs.
I'd be ticked if some of those kids are cutting into their inheritance.
Right?
Hey, could you use a little protection here, man? There's only so much money to go around. I think that this is a topsy-turvy time, and there's still a lot of fans haven't gotten over what just happened. Here's a man who spurned his alma mater, wouldn't even say their name, and blah, blah, blah. Each week, this quarterback, he's this, he's that, he's blah, 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 blah. Hey, could you tell us about Bear Bachmeier? No. You won't even do that. That just warmed the cockles of all Ute fans everywhere. And now he takes off. He's a traitor. Not in my mind. I'm not saying to me, but in some folks' mind. I got it at the gym yesterday. All the time.
There was one job.
I put my glasses on, I wear my hat, I have my hoodie on, and I still get it.
Terrible disguise. You need the glasses and the fake nose.
I thought it was a brilliant disguise.
Okay.
And so with that in mind here, yes, this is a crazy time. And there's a lot of people that aren't over because they put their faith in that man. He was us. It would be the same thing when and if Dillingham leaves. I'm home. Literally the first words he said when he was introduced, the very first words Dillingham said, I'm home.
So
but the bottom line is you can't trust a ham.
So, there it is.
Sometimes they're full of baloney. He cut the cheese out of town.
Got any more? I mean, I don't want to get in your way. I was going to make a point, but what's the point of that?
Ah, man, you know what my favorite meat is? A gabagool.
I don't even know what that means.
It's 9 o'clock right now.
Kind of. A little bit.
It's 9 o'clock somewhere.
In Chicago. It's 9 o'clock in Chicago right now. And in Dallas. Yeah.
And in virtually the entire country of Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Is that mostly Central Time Zone?
Yeah, I think there's a little slice over by El Paso that's Mountain.
Okay.
Juarez. Yeah. Double check that, but I think that's what it is based on my...
That'll give me something to do. Time zones in Mexico. I assume Baja California is Pacific time.
I think the high majority of the country is central. But so much stuff going down. And I don't think they're over what their guy is done to them or has done. Well, we left the program in a good spot. To some people, they didn't. But the fact is, once he took the Michigan job, the only thing he was concerned about was advancing the program for Michigan, not advancing anybody else's program. That's just the way it is, man.
Morgan's a head coach, puts a stamp on the program.
Hopefully,
the thing that looks like it's in
a
good the thing that looks like it's in a good place is the roster. I just saw in the transfer portal. You hate to quote any numbers because probably ought to update them by now. But there were Ute fans celebrated on social media because they were one of a handful of teams that didn't have very many transfers.
Yeah, but you've already lost 3 starters on defense. Mm-hmm. In addition to the guys who naturally
out of eligibility, right? Off to the NFL or whatever.
Yeah. And what does that mean? You're losing a premier defensive lineman.
Of all the things that create the firestorm, how high would you put that on your list? Because on the one hand, yep, it's talent and they're starters and right. But on the other hand, you got Morgan and Sharif Shah, and the one thing that we know, because they're still here, and those 2 guys are the guys who are coaching safeties and corners and doing a great job bringing guys along. But is it too much all at once, though?
Yes, because they were coming to a program that was established. Now it's brand new. They don't know. Whatever you've done before doesn't matter.
It isn't brand new.
And that's too.
Morgan and Sharif are still there.
Doesn't matter. Morgan is not even close to his same role.
I get that. But I think it's going to matter that those 2 are still there. Now, that might be too much talent all at once, and the young guys coming along. Maybe you don't have enough young guys coming along, but you do have the transfer portal to fill in.
Too much assumption right now. And we didn't have to assume much with Utah because they were stable. They did the same thing. The guys came back, blah, 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 blah. Very little change.
You and I had a lot of confidence in the changes they made offensively a year ago, but I think a lot of Ute fans had a lot of questions. There was a lot of stress over whether that was going to work or not.
That's always been to the offensive perspective. The one place where they haven't been stable is an offensive coordinator, and that's pretty much it. But every guy they throw in there rushes for 1,000 yards. I mean, they've had so many of them. Last year, Parker as a freshman at Washington State ran for like 700-plus yards. For a first-year freshman, that's pretty in a passing offense.
Yeah.
So we thought he was going to be good enough. He was good enough. They went 11-2.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.